everyone? Welcome to a new Waterwave TV interview. I'm with special guest Alexander Mattison in the building today. The first ever athlete I've interviewed, besides professional athlete I've interviewed. I've interviewed some other athletes.
Yeah,
Happy to have you in here.
the first. I love that.
How you been? What was your day like? I know you had a pretty busy day today.
Yeah, busy day, but I've been blessed. Got done shooting some stuff for Delta, so that's always fun. Getting to do new opportunities, new stuff like that. Got to bounce around the city, see some different things. So it was pretty smooth. Had a good day, and then we're gonna cap it off with a good, visit to Waterwave.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Appreciate you coming in here. Definitely got a lot of football stuff I want to ask you about because that's obviously your profession. But I've grown to learn a lot more about you with working with Trayson,
Yeah.
and doing music, and you got your own brand and stuff you're pushing. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. Keep it a little bit short for the viewers out there. I know not everyone likes to listen to 5-hour podcasts.
Yeah.
They don't got all night anyways. But talk to me through going through high school. How did you know that football was your thing, or how did football get brought into your life?
Yeah. So my brother started playing when I was 5. He started playing. I wasn't old enough to play, so I was playing soccer at the time, and watching him play, and just I don't know, seeing him in his uniform and everything made me want to play so much. So when I finally turned 6 and I was old enough to play, I begged my parents to let me play, and once I got the ball in my hands, I was all she wrote. Fell in love with the game, and it was the best thing I could ever done for my life is to grab that football. But it was one of those things I used to just dream about being in this position one day. And so to be here now is just it's an extreme blessing. Troy Polamalu was my big inspiration when I was younger and why I wanted to get to the league. Seeing him, and then I started to just cling on to some players like Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Jamal Charles. And those were really the backs that I watched and tried to shape my game after. And so when I got to high school and it got real, I knew I had an opportunity to make my dreams a reality when I got my first offer to Washington. It rolled in December of my junior year. Junior year in high school, got my first offer from Washington. And then that's when everything kind of turned tables, everything got real. And yeah, cranked it up, and fast forward, here I am.
What was some of the biggest struggles going through high school? Because I know you graduated 2016?
Yep.
So I graduated 2017, so I kind of understand maybe what was going on during that time with social media becoming a thing now, and obviously trying to balance that with playing sports and being good in school. Did you have any big hurdles that you had to overcome while being a high school athlete, doing good in school, maybe social media pressure? I don't know, back then it wasn't there wasn't too many famous people on social media yet, but it was a new thing still at the time. But
yeah, I mean, for me, it was one of those things you start seeing these. That was a time there was people like, who was around that time doing some crazy. There was some kids doing some crazy offer videos where they're the pictures are sitting in their bathtub full of offers. They're doing these committing videos where they're walking through the city and it's their back life story. And they're like, for the next 4 years, I'm playing at so-and-so. And those type of things you start to see, it's like, damn. And you don't have an offer yet. And, you're going off and you're doing everything you can. You're working hard. I was really big into school as far as, my priorities were set. I had a 4.6 GPA.
Wow.
So, I didn't play around with that either.
That's
so
a thing? Wait, because you take the advanced, the
yeah,
AP
so
classes?
AP classes and honors classes.
I didn't even know you could get above a 4. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they let you get to a 5.0. So I had I had that pressure there where it was man, can something get going? I'm trying to chase this dream, but I'm in the right spot. There was that pressure of that was a time too where a lot of people were transferring. That's when I think around that time it started to kind of get big, where kids were just transferring to modern day and these big schools, Servite and stuff down in SoCal. And I had Santa Margarita. They came and talked to me at a camp, and they were like, yo, we can give you financial aid. You can come out. We'll put you in a house with a family, and you can come out and play for us. They played in the big one. They play on ESPN and all that. And it was damn, do I do this? And this was my sophomore year. But I had a moment where I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay here. And Inky Johnson, he had a little video that I saw. He said he owed it to himself to leave that place better than he found it. So he had one of those stories where he didn't transfer out. And I was like, you know what? That's my mindset. I'm going to just stay true to who I am, stay true to the city that raised me and made me who I am. And I had a coach tell me, if you're good enough, they'll find you. And so, like, when it happened, it was a blessing, but it definitely was some pressure from that social media side where, like, I start seeing these kids get these offers, hella offers all over the place, and doing these commitment videos. And I was just like, damn, like, what am I doing wrong? And then they started to roll in. Yeah.
How did you end up choosing Boise State? Do you have, I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
but like at least one to share, like one big reason why you chose that one. I think playing on the blue field would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one of the things I saw. Was like Boise State. Like, I had to look into them a little bit more because I always just saw them on like playing NCAA. I would always choose Boise State to play on the blue field just because like no matter what team I'm playing, I'm choosing that stadium just to play on it.
Yeah.
Or the Oregon Stadium or something just because like how nice it was on the game. And so when I got that offer, I was like, damn, like the blue field. This is the blue field, and I did my research, and they were the winningest program. I mean, even now, I think they're second now to Ohio State, but the winningest program in the 2000s.
Wow.
And so it was a great program. And then I got to do a camp with the coaches. That was one thing that pulled me in. Got to do a camp with the coaches. Vibe was amazing. They were invested in me. They came out to see me like 3 different times and did a home visit. So like I just felt the love.
Yeah.
And it was a great position for me to be into. The starter was he wasn't a school guy. That's what the coach told me at the time. He's like, he's not a school guy. He's going to leave after this next year. And then after that, if you do what you're supposed to, the backfield's yours.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's what kind of drew me in.
Speaking of playing NCAA, making it to the league, getting drafted, what was it like? Obviously getting drafted, but one big thing I want to know is like the first time you played Madden, since we're on the topic a little bit, and seeing you got to play with yourself on Madden. Was that like fun for you?
That was crazy.
You played video games.
At first, when I saw it, I was like, damn, 68? I think I was like 60
overall from being drafted.
Yeah, I think I was
they usually don't give too much love to the fresh rookies.
You don't get a lot of love as a rookie, but it was crazy, to see my face, because they do at the combine we did our face scans, so they try and make the player look like you, and then like on your player card it's your actual like combine photo. Now it's my Vikings photo that they update it every year, but at the time I was like, dang, this is crazy. This is like what I've dreamt of since I was a kid, is like, being in a video game, being in Madden. And so yeah, it was crazy.
How about, so let's talk about getting drafted. Just the idea of getting drafted to the league. I'm sure that was a dream of yours forever as well, right?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. You see how the draft goes, you want to see your name come across the bottom of the screen. You don't know how it really goes. So the way that it goes is you get the call and stuff a few picks ahead. And so now they're starting to show videos of that. But like when I didn't know that, like, they call you, they talk to you, and then you have a moment to celebrate with the family and everything. And then you guys sit down and watch them call your actual name. So like I got the call, I was sitting there. I remember sitting on the couch, got a call. And it was down to the wire because the teams that we knew could pick me, pick somebody else, or trade it out of the round. And so I thought all the teams were gone. And then I see a number. My phone's vibrating, and this was one of my things that I said from the jump was like, if anyone calls my phone, I'm going to be pissed because, like, don't call me today. Yeah. And so I pulled it out, and it was a 612 Minnesota number. And I was like, oh, shit. So, my bad. I don't know. I picked it up. And it was just like everybody, it was quiet, but for some reason I couldn't hear. So I had to like get up off the couch and go like walk down the hallway. It was crazy. There's some cool pictures of like me and my mom like just like looking at me, answer the phone. And it was just crazy when they said, hey, how's it going? It's Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Who was it on the phone?
The first person I heard on the phone was Rick Spielman. Yeah, it was Rick Spielman.
Like, what did he say? Something like, "Are you ready to be Minnesota Vikings?"
It was one of the hey, it's Rick Spielman here, Minnesota Vikings, man. Yeah. We think very highly of you. We're gonna take you here. You ready to come to Minnesota to be a Viking? And it was just like, man,
Did you expect it to get drafted in the 3rd round? Were you expected to go high? Did you expect it to get drafted at all? Like, what was your mindset going into the draft that night?
It was in a scramble, honestly, because I had created a good amount of buzz for myself throughout the process, just like doing interviews. I tested pretty well. My 40 wasn't all that great, but like that now, like Maurice Jones-Drew and the guys that were covering it, they had a lot of great things to say about me.
Yeah.
Regardless, so like that helped out a lot. That people thought highly of me, but coming out, I had like 5th round grade, great free agent.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bunch of different stuff, so I didn't know where I was gonna go at.
Yeah.
My agent told me that morning. He called me. He said, "Hey, look. So it looks like your chances of going in the 3rd round today are like 20%. And the teams that could take you were Green Bay, and I think Minnesota was the other one that he said." And I was like, weird, because I haven't talked to neither one of those teams up until this point. But I told him, I said, you know what? They told me every time I went to football camp, every time I took a knee after a hard practice as a kid, they told me it was a 1% chance that I'd make it. So I'll take the 20.
Take the 20. Man.
And the last pick of the 3rd happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dope. Are you happy it was Minnesota and not Green Bay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'd be sick to my stomach. I honestly, dreams would come true. Dreams would come true. I would love to be, in the NFL, but like, even just going there to play for away games, I'm like, yo, I don't know how these players do it.
Having home games at US Bank Stadium is probably a little more enjoyable than even though the history over there, but the weather during the winter.
Horrible.
I played football, and playing outdoors in the cold was one of the main reasons why I didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
Because I practice in the cold. And I obviously didn't have it in me. I wasn't going to the league. I knew that early, so I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's too cold. Let's talk about life in Minnesota then. So you got drafted to the Vikings. You've been here your whole career. Do you enjoy Minneapolis, or like kind of like living the Minnesota lifestyle? Is that something you enjoy? You've been here for 4 years now?
Yep, 4 going on 5. Yeah, I love it. Besides the snow, I love it. Besides the freezing cold, I'm from California, so of course I want it to be warm all the time. But I mean, I love it. It's beautiful here. Minnesota nice. That term is real.
Yeah.
I never thought, like, sometimes I'd be like, is this like
especially when you're
real
on the football team they're going to show you extra love too.
Yeah,
So it's like nice love on top of the nice.
Yeah. I think people show a lot of love out here. I love it. It's popping out here.
Yeah.
It's way more to it than I would have ever imagined. I never really looked into Minnesota. Never knew anything about like Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Just the history of it in itself is something that just kind of
one of them underrated cities. For
Yeah,
sure. Like
yeah.
of the big cities you think of in every state. Definitely not like in that top 10 that people like think of. But
but I would put I would say top 10 though. Like
top
when you think about it,
10 cities in the United States. Of to like live in, be at, have a good time.
I peeped. I didn't know a lot of people like when they go on tour. Minneapolis is like on their tour list.
Yeah, a lot of times it's their first stop. I don't know if it's. I think Minneapolis. They come out a lot for touring artists, and it's like something that. It's like hit or miss with like how much advancement our local music scene has been able to make out here. I think there's certain genres that have flourished, but like hip hop, for example, doesn't necessarily flourish super hard in Minnesota. But when a touring artist that's hip hop comes to Minnesota, it sells out for the most part, unless they're trying to do a little too much. I know some artists get canceled at like Target Center and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
trying to do super big shows, but the Armory size events, they're always selling out. First Ave, Skyways, but it's a little bit different with the local scene. But yeah, Minneapolis is a slept on for everything.
Yeah.
Slept on for everything.
Food, all that.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Vikings football then. Now, recently, obviously, Delvin Cook isn't on the team anymore. You're going to be the starting running back, RB1.
Yeah.
Taking on a new role, new contract. Do you feel new jerseys going into the year? You got a fresh look, fresh feel, new team coming in. How has it been knowing that you're about to be RB1 for the best team in the NFC North?
It's weird because like I feel like even for myself, along with like how other people see it, like you would expect it to be something that kind of like makes you feel a little bit more. But I think I just prepared for so long. You know that saying, stay ready so you don't got to get ready.
Yeah.
I think I've stayed ready for so long that this opportunity in front of me doesn't like add any extra pressure. It doesn't like scare me. It doesn't like, I'm just ready to get after it, ready to go. It's about that time that like I can finally be in a position where I get the respect that, I potentially deserve. So I'm just ready. It's a great opportunity. I'm happy to be in a position where, I have a great organization I'm playing for. I have an amazing locker room of guys that I'm able to share with, and then just my support system on top of that. So like at the end of the day, I'm blessed regardless.
Yeah.
And I think that helps me take the pressure off to just go out there and do what I do.
What was it like playing side by side Delvin Cook, like coming in as a rookie, having him
Yeah.
be like kind of like the guy that you're probably working behind, learning a lot from at the beginning. Like, what was it like being RB1, RB2 with him?
It was fun. Every day. Like, I was blessed to come into a situation where like it wasn't no type of animosity. It wasn't like any type of, this guy's trying to take my spot. He told me straight up, said, do whatever you can to take my spot.
Yeah.
I want you to try and take my spot. And if you beat me out, best man wins. Like, I'm proud of you for it. And I wouldn't expect nobody to ever just like talk to me like that. As a rookie, like I step in the building and you show me love.
Yeah.
You take me under your wing. And so, yeah, that's my brother, man. He really is. And it was just a blessing to be able to be in the same backfield with him for 4 years.
Yeah. I know Minnesota loves their running backs. Ever since Adrian Peterson held it down for
Yeah.
us for so long,
Yeah.
definitely been good to have like a consistent running back that we can count on. Being a Vikings fan my whole life, definitely always been nice to have a good running back in the backfield. And definitely like you and Cook were like a really good duo, but you were showing signs that if you weren't going to take over the job next year, you could do this somewhere else. Because you were a lead back, like you were good. Every time you win in the game, it's not like, oh, we got our backup and our RB2's in because Cook needs a break. Like there was never a fall off, and I'm excited to see you start this year and play most downs or however the playbook looks for y'all. I don't know exactly how it's going to look and work. But what so how about let's talk about the overall running backs in the league. I know there's been a lot of talk about running backs aren't getting paid enough right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true. It's weird because like a lot of wide receivers are getting really big bags. Obviously, quarterbacks are getting big bags. Even some tight ends are starting to get paid really well. But like it seems like the running back pay has just been like on a decline the past 5-10 years. Do you think do you know like maybe like why there's a stigma behind running backs not getting paid as much recently?
Honestly, I think there's that whole, shelf life of a running back.
True.
I mean, it's gone down. It was like 3 to 4. Now it's like 2.5 to 3. So I think that plays a role. I think with the cap space, they can only pay so many players, so they have to pick and choose. Like, are we going to play? So we're going to pay our quarterback. If we have a star receiver, we're going to pay our star receiver. And then you look at like the D line or corner, like you got to have one defensive all-star that you pay.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of like whatever we have left, we have to make the best of our team.
Yeah.
And I think we get the short end of the stick on that because I think we're being undervalued for what we bring to a team. In the run game, in the pass game, both like out the backfield and protecting the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just a lot that a running back can do. And then if you look at some of these special team units, running backs are running down the field on kickoff, punt return. Like running backs are out there on the field. I remember my rookie year, Matt Breida, Mostert, and I think Jeff Wilson maybe were all on kickoff. All three of them lined up. This is a playoff game. My rookie year, second round. And I looked over, me and CJ looked at each other. We said, all three, the starting, the backup, and the third string, all three of them are running down on kickoff. And, like, if you're going to use a back like that, like, you're showing right there in that instance how valuable a running back is to a team just from a whole standpoint. So I think definitely, like, there needs to be some respect put on it. You look at guys like Saquon deserves a bag. Josh Jacobs deserves a bag. These backs that are getting franchise tags, it's a sad reality that they can't lock up some financial freedom, financial stability for their families and the work that they've done.
Yeah, the league has like just shifted because I feel like running backs used to get bigger bags, right?
Yeah.
Like back when like we were like in the Adrian Peterson era, like stuff like that. But now it's became a lot more pass first.
Heavy.
But it's not like running backs aren't being used in the pass game.
Yeah.
Even more now too because it's pass heavy. I do think like and even having that dual threat where you can catch passes out the backfield or pass block, but it's still even with that, it's definitely a little bit a little bit lower. But yeah, it makes sense. Or your take makes sense. And I definitely think they deserve a little bit more. It's one of the most important positions. Would you say that a running back's like, or what position is the most? Do you have to be the most athletic to play?
Ooh,
Like, what's the most
honestly,
important? Yeah, like hardest position to play in the field, or like most athletic. I don't know how to word the question. Like, what do you think the hardest position?
honestly, maybe a DB,
Because you
maybe a
don't.
corner,
I was thinking DB or corner too, because
a corner.
you don't know where they're gonna go. You're literally playing
Yeah.
off of someone else's
You have
movements.
to literally run as fast as this person's running backwards.
Yeah.
And then you don't know his route. So if he's doing all this, you have to stay in front of him or get your ankles broke.
Yeah.
So I think I give them a lot of credit. Their hips are amazing, fast. Where I don't give them all that credit is with their hands.
Yeah.
Their hands aren't the best.
But if they're what do they call DBs are just wide receivers that couldn't catch?
Yeah,
That's what they used to
basically
say when I was like in high school. Like if you were a wide receiver but you couldn't catch, you're playing
DB.
DB.
And so I think I give those guys a lot of credit because it definitely is hard. I see JJ run routes every day. To stay in front of him, to guard him, you gotta be athletic as hell.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't honestly. I never played defense when I played football because I just knew one I was never good at tackling, and
Yeah.
two I just couldn't play DB, so I wasn't good at it. But let's a couple fun questions. Who's some of the hardest hitting people in the NFL that you've had to go against?
Ooh, hardest hitting.
Yeah, even like hardest hitting, hardest to break a tackle off of, like some of just like those defenders that are just next level.
Aaron Donald, for sure.
What does it feel like him to land on your body?
He is strong.
Pause.
He is, pause. He's strong as hell. I was running and he grabbed me by my collar, not even my collar, like the front of my jersey.
Yeah.
And I usually, like, if I feel like a hand or something, I kind of give it a swipe and like try and bounce out. And it didn't go anywhere, and I didn't go anywhere, and I just gave up. I said, this is one of the moments where I know I'm not even gonna try this.
All his praise and awards are worth it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not about to get hurt trying to break his tackle. He's definitely one of those guys. Super strong, great grip. Who else? I would say a hard hitter. Jadeveon Clowney. He kind of brings it. He does. He got me good my second year, I think. He got it to him. He got that to him.
Do you think if me and you lined up between the tackles and I had 50 chances to tackle you, fully padded up, 50 chances, do you think I get one?
Out of 50, it depends. It's not hard. It's hard to tackle, but it's not that hard to tackle. Because if I put everything into running you over and like you trip me up, you got the tackle, you know? So I think you get out of 50, you get one. You at least get one.
Do you think it's harder to tackle? Let's say, do you think it would be harder to tackle the best running back at his peak of all time, or to play like, let's say, Michael Jordan or LeBron James one-on-one, or whoever, Kobe one-on-one, whoever's the best one-on-one player? Like, is it harder to tackle? What would be harder, playing Kobe one-on-one or tackling, let's say, like Adrian Peterson or Sean Alexander up the middle? What do you think?
Kobe. Because, and I say that because you can dive at my legs, and there's a 50-50 chance I stay up, depending on where your body position is at.
True. But stopping Kobe from scoring.
But stopping Kobe from scoring is probably not happening. Out of 50 times, I don't know. The only time you get one is if he misses, and it's on him, I think. So I think any one of those, LeBron, Kobe, MJ, like, those are way harder than tackling an RB.
What's the trash talking like in the NFL? Is it worse in college? Is it worse in college?
No, actually, it depends. Receivers and DBs, they get after it. I think for the most part, the interior is not too crazy. Because for one, I don't know. I don't try and make defenders mad. I don't like to try and make backers or D linemen mad because
motivate them even more.
Kirk got to pay for that.
Yeah.
And then I also have to deal with like the extra when I'm getting tackled too. So there's that part of it. You got to kind of play the game within the game.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that, like some backers, I think, some linebackers, There's a couple, and then the DBs, they really talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I say, yeah, it's definitely more than college because you done made
You
it.
can get away with a little bit more. Like the
Yeah, you
refs
can
aren't
get
gonna be
away with
like quit
more.
swearing or like
Yeah,
on some shit like that. They let it fly a little bit more.
yeah,
What's your? I know. Since you brought up Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins gets a lot of slander. I think just throughout the league, not being good at prime time or never can come up clutch. You know,
yeah,
like what's your take on Kirk Cousins? I know you guys definitely work together a lot and
yeah,
talk a lot. So
yeah. That's my dog. That's my guy, man. He's a one of a kind
mm-hmm.
dude. He inspires me to be a better husband, be a better father, better brother, better like everything outside of football, like even a better player. But like if we separate from football, he's that type of person. I have that type of impact on your
Mm-hmm.
life to just inspire you to be better, and
For
that's
sure.
that's all you could ask for
Mm-hmm.
in somebody that's the leader of your team, the leader
Mm-hmm.
of your offense. And yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
So, what's your life? So, what's your life like outside of football? Not necessarily, I mean, the off season as well, like kind of how you spend your time in the off season. But before that, like during the football season, like when you're going home or even like during camp,
Hmm.
like how I know you got a camp, you're doing a camp at Boise State this weekend for your brand.
Yeah.
But like, what's Alexander Madison's life besides being a football player? Like, what do you enjoy doing? What do you do? What are your
Yeah.
obligations? Stuff like that.
I'm really a family man.
Okay.
I like doing family stuff. Anything we can do together. Go bowling, go to the park, go out to eat, spend some time, play some board games, all that
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff I love to do. It's a lot of the way I was raised, I think, is
Mm-hmm.
is a part of why I like to do a lot of stuff with my family. And then, spending time. I have a 10-month-old daughter now,
Mm-hmm.
so spend a lot of time with her and my wife, and just like watching her grow is just like the biggest blessing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Happening in front of my eyes. So I do a lot of that, and then outside of family time, man, some of my hobbies. So getting into music,
Yeah.
make music. My cousin was a big inspiration on that, making music. Then like my foundation, my brand, got into the space of trying to come up with some designs and doing all that myself. So like
Mm-hmm.
within the clothing realm, I'm stepping that up a little bit with my brand,
Mm-hmm.
and then my foundation, giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Love to be able to give back and provide something that I didn't have when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. Well, speak on like the I Am Gifted brand a little bit. I know
Yeah,
it's like to help like spread awareness for mental health, right?
yeah,
And raise money and whatnot for that. Like, explain that brand a little bit more to me.
yeah. So my brand, I Am Gifted. It was born off the basis of my struggle, my journey with mental health in college.
Mm-hmm.
I hit a wall. I was going through a rough time. It seemed like nothing can go my way, nothing can go right. So um, during that time, there was someone that committed suicide that played for another team. He was also from Southern California, and he was, projected to be, one of those first round guys and everything, you know. And so seeing that happen, I understood that, I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the knowledge of what mental health was,
Mm-hmm.
but I was going through so much that I was ready to walk away from football. But the fact that he walked away from life, like I couldn't comprehend how that happened. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't comprehend how someone that was going through something either similar, worse than, or not as bad as me, could do that.
Yeah.
So that's when I really took my mental health journey seriously. Started to research, started to learn more about it,
Yeah.
and here I came 2 years into the league, and I wanted my brand to mean something more than just Alexander Mattison merchandise or anything
Yeah.
like that, but more of a movement.
Yeah.
So it was born with the concept that everyone was born with a gift, and we just have to find it,
Mm-hmm.
embrace it, and use it to shed some light in the world. So what you do, the gift
Mm-hmm.
that you have to be able to bring us together and have a
Yeah.
platform like this where we can talk to, like, your gift was to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Your gift was to bring people this Waterwave
Yeah.
TV. So like I believe that everyone has a gift. We just have to find it and then use it the right way.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We do a lot of giving back so that we can spread the mental health awareness, but also provide some dream chasing opportunities for
Yeah.
for the youth. and yeah, just spreading that message, spreading that love and positivity in the world.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, and obviously, like you talking about, like spreading the positivity and showing the love. Like even coming here and doing this interview is like huge.
Yeah,
it's not every day that like an up and coming like independent media brand can interview someone. A professional athlete.
yeah,
It's not as easy to get in contact, or even like you getting in the music scene, working with Trayson. Like that was super fire. But I kind of want to. Talk a little bit about the music video you have coming with Trayson. Well, there's a little car beeping. Won't be going that long. I don't think.
yeah.
You might be able to hear. We can mask it out a little bit. Oh, there it goes. But yeah, you and Trayson Green got a song "Gone" in a music video coming, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, he makes music. How's he makes
Yeah.
music? But yeah, how did you get hear of Trayson Green, or like what was that connection like in making the song, and
Yeah.
obviously like how did you guys start that? Get that going?
I think we connected. He was just showing me some love, and I peeped his music, and then we just was able through social media. We were able to connect
Mm-hmm.
and show love, and it was just one of those things. Good people, good souls, and good hearts when you meet
Mm-hmm.
them, and when you just get that vibe from them, and he has that. So like it was immediate click,
Mm-hmm.
and um, on the music scene, music part of it, it was just I think I was supposed to do a feature for him a while back,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to get to it. And so, man, I was like, damn, I was supposed to get on this. I was supposed to get on this, and I wasn't able to. Just kind of moving around, and like my studio equipment, I don't think I had it with me. And so we finally were able to circle back. He said he had a track, and I was like, bet, I got you. Send me it. I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
it tonight. And so it was pretty quick turnaround where we were able to hop on it. And honestly, like when you think about it, like sometimes like you can feel when something clicks, you can feel when somebody has something that resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what this track was. It was something
Mm-hmm.
that like I could feel that. I feel your pain, I feel
Mm-hmm.
your vibe, I feel everything. And yeah, we were able to make some magic, and so I'm excited.
Yeah. Have you how much have you done with your music side? Like is it more of like a hobby? Obviously you are like a professional athlete, so
Yeah.
that's number one priority, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But is music something you've always wanted to try? Is it something you would like to monetize off and make like money off one day, or is it straight just like I'm gonna do this for fun and it's just out there?
Honestly, I do it for fun,
Okay.
and whatever comes with it comes with it. Like just the
Mhm.
opportunity to connect and do stuff like that, like with such an awesome artist as Trayson. Like
Mhm.
when you look at like being able to connect with talented people like that, came through just a hobby, came through
Mhm.
just therapy, because I use music as therapy really. My cousin put me on Cam. He's a young up and coming artist as well that just
Mhm.
like is on the grind right now trying to pop on the scene. And I remember it was after my first year in the league. He was about to turn 18, and he wanted to go to the studio. So I took him to the studio. He started recording and then asked me to hop on the track, and I was like, all right. And
Mhm.
it was like, okay, this is kind of fun.
Mhm.
And so like after doing some stuff, I doing a couple features for him. I got into it. We have a friend that does his home studio out of his crib, and so I asked him like, what do I need? What's the stuff I need for it when COVID hit?
Mhm.
And so picked up a new hobby, learned how to mix and master,
Nice.
self-engineer, play with Pro Tools, and so here it is now. I just make music. I'll put it out. I don't really do too much. I'm not the guy to like hop on a stage or anything. I've
Yeah.
done like a f- I think maybe two with my cousin.
Performances?
Yeah, but nothing big or anything like that. Because I'm like, yeah, that's just not me. Like you
Yeah.
said, football's the main thing. But honestly, I wouldn't mind if music led me to some other opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we just started I Am Gifted ENT, so that's just like honestly, I just signed my little cousin to a little deal to try and help get him going.
Yeah.
So if that is able, a alley that I can go down, as it potentially gets bigger, then I wouldn't
Some
be
type of
opposed
business
to
in
it.
the music
Yeah,
entertainment industry.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
for me, music is really therapy. It's a way for me to kind of just get away. I can tap in, get in the
Mhm.
studio, and just like
What type of
tap
music are you
in.
listening to on most game days to get you ready for a game?
Game days. I get a little toxic.
Okay.
I throw on some good like Dirk, Huncho. I get some good like I might have a couple King Von songs on there.
Mhm.
Some like nitty gritty stuff. A little bit of SoCal vibes on there too. Throw on some like Compton AV.
Okay. Is there any players that would that are good at rapping on the team that don't necessarily make music, but are you guys, like, is there freestyle sessions in the locker room? Is there anything going on like that?
There were some guys that came through that made music. D.D. Westbrook, he used to always like talk about how his music is, but he don't release nothing. So there's no proof that he's actually good at music. But then he had one track, and he played it on the speakers one time for like 30 seconds. It's like, that's all y'all get. And I'm like, you said like 2 words. You didn't even let it play through. So I still don't know to this day how good he is at music. I know some of the wide receivers vouch for him. It's like, yeah, he played it. He actually was fire. But I don't know if there's anybody. Tay Gowan, one of our DBs, I think has played with the studio a little bit. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who else makes music or is capable of doing so. We probably gotta do one of those.
Yeah, see who's like the best. If anyone else got bars
Yeah.
on the team and whatnot. Assuming the Vikings win the 2023-2024 Super Bowl, bring home the first Super Bowl ever to Minnesota. What is the and let's say when we come back to Minneapolis, obviously that night, whatever city. What city is it in this year? Is it in Vegas?
Vegas.
It's Vegas this year. All right, in Vegas, you're gonna have a good night, obviously that night. But if actually, yes, that's the first. If you're in Vegas that night, what is the plan? You win Super Bowl night. Like, what is your first? Like, are you popping bottles in the club? Are you going home to the family, going straight to bed? Like what you going out to eat? Like, what's the plan after you guys win the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say, I wish I could have that exciting story of like, yeah, we're going crazy in the club, but I don't drink, I don't go to clubs or nothing, so I'm gonna be right at the crib with the family celebrating, which also could be an epic scene too. We have a lot of fun. Like my family, we honestly could have a TV show.
Family cookouts, all that type of stuff would be like. Is honestly, I don't like to go to the clubs like that either. So like, that type of stuff is like usually more
the vibe.
Yeah,
and I think honestly, like if you met my brother, my dad, and my family, like my cousins, like you would see like we really could have a TV show that's just like almost as good as Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like it's not as much money there, but it's a lot of fun and excitement and a lot of good vibes. So I think that would be the vibe, man. And we'd have a good time, and yeah, it would be a dream come true for sure.
One thing I wanted to bring up while we were talking about the season in Vikings football was the touchdown celebration you did that went kind of viral. You faked the hammy pull, started twerking, and they fined you $6,500.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember you spoke out about it a little bit. Like, obviously they were using it as like something to post about and laugh about, and then they hit you with a fine because it's like I could see if they never posted it and like were like spamming it everywhere on socials, like look at this funny celebration, and they were like fading it, like it's like this, we don't stand by this, but they were posting it a bunch and then hit you with a fine. But like, what was it? I guess is that the only fine you've ever gotten from the league for like something like that? Because I just feel like giving out fines is like a serious thing. But like,
I think I got a warning one time for like leading with your helmet. They used to give. I laid a guy out and they tried to say like they send you the clips of everything, and it was like, come on now. But it was just a warning. Yeah. Other than that, I haven't gotten a fine from the league.
Yeah, that touchdown celebration choice. Did you practice it like the night before? Like or was it like spur of the moment? Was it like what?
Yeah, disclaimer. I did not practice that. I never did that before doing it on the field. But I saw it on social media. I saw it on TikTok. There's a team called like the Bananas or something like that. It's a baseball league that does like funny stuff all the time. And I saw them do it where like he did it to home plate and the team was going crazy. And I locked it in the arsenal for like 5 weeks. I had it ready to go. And I just didn't. I think I might have scored. And it was just like a weird moment where I couldn't do it or I didn't think of it. And then other than that, I just didn't score within those 5 weeks to be like, to go do it. So when it happened, I scored. And I turned around and like the closest person I saw was like KJ, probably 10 yards away or something. And I just grabbed the hammy. And once I grabbed the hammy, I had to go through with it. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just did it. And it was crazy. They tried to find me after. Yeah. I thought I was good because a week went by and I was good. I was solid. Didn't have a letter or nothing. And then that next day, I got the letter. My agent hit me up like, nah, this is bull. We're going to appeal this. It's a whole like kind of like a court process where you have to like
Like
talk to them. Yeah,
fine.
you have to talk to them, explain like why you did it, why you don't think you should be fined, and all that. But they shared it across their social media. I think they got over 5.6, um,
Million
a
hits,
5.6 count of fan engagement on the video throughout their social platforms, and they've created a little side by side of a woman doing it in women's soccer as well. So it was just crazy that they were able to use all that and then
They're
try and
promoting
find
it,
me.
but they want to fine you for it.
Yeah. So I did get my money back.
Okay.
They fined me, but I got my money back. We got the appeal, so we're good.
Are we gonna see the return of that?
No,
Of that
that's
celebration?
that's definitely dead. But there's gonna be a lot more fun,
More touchdowns
funny
this year.
celebrations. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you'll come out with like a signature one? How obviously Justin Jefferson kind of did the gritty and
Yeah.
turned that into a whole phenomenon of everybody doing it.
See, like in college, I had the salute.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of like made it a thing when I got to college, but then when I got to the league, I was like, I don't know if I want to, carry that on. But I think I carry around my spirit animal of a gorilla.
Okay.
And I've done a few times of like the banging on the chest. So maybe that becomes a little bit of a signature that maybe the fans, everyone can join me and banging on the chest when I do something. So I think maybe that one, we'll see. I think this will help, preview, let you guys know. Go ahead and start banging on your chest when you see me running the end zone.
Okay, let's get it done then. Oh, a couple of last questions for you. What is your predictions for the team this year?
I don't know if I can give that away.
Okay.
My prediction is that we week in and week out we give the best that we can give, and the Vikings will be loved at the end of the day. That's all I can hope for. Whatever the outcome is, any given Sunday is anyone's game, but I got a lot of confidence in who we got. So I'm just excited to kind of see what happens, how the ball rolls, and how we go out there execute.
You excited to wear like the new throwback jerseys?
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of them. I guess because like obviously the Randy Moss, Chris Carter era, we sell vintage clothing in here, so we sell a lot of those jerseys. It's super cool to see like Jefferson's name on the back of them, or even like a Madison's name on the back of them. Like it's when it used to be AP and Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Like seeing like the new school guys that like
New
we're
school
currently
rocking
the old school, and they look really like they're really close.
They're sick.
Like, and they're not like far off. It's like where they butchered it. Like they did a good job from the pictures I've seen.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's gonna be fire. I'm
Is that
excited
like an
to put those
every week
on.
thing, or is that like a special
No.
night thing? Because I know they're debuting it on against the Buccaneers, but I didn't know if it was like an every week thing or if they're still gonna.
No, I think we still have our regular ones, but I think we can just now rotate them in.
Yeah, like
I think depending on the game,
whenever
instead of it
do
just being because the primetime purple. So like our primetime color rush games.
I love color rush.
We only do those for primetime games. But I think this one is going to be more one that we can switch in. That's not just like a specific game.
A normal jersey.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you. Why should I draft you for my fantasy football league?
Because I will go crazy for you.
Awesome.
Specifically for you. I got you.
Okay. I'll make it happen. Anything else you'd like to add in here? Anything I forgot to ask about? Anything you want? Any message you want to spread to finish this off?
Man, just, appreciate you for having me. Appreciate you for letting me come on here and experience this. And Water Wave TV is something I think everybody needs to get on the wave. And I'm just excited for your future. I'm excited for my future. And
I'm excited to watch you play this year, man.
Appreciate that. And everybody just remember you're born with a gift. Find your gift. Use it to shed some light in this world.
And it wouldn't be right if we didn't finish it off.
Skull.
Skull. Skull. Skull. Subscribe, like, share, all that. Alex Mattison about to have 50 touchdowns this year, 12,000 yards, Super Bowl bound. We out here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My guy. Yeah.
Appreciate
Fire.
it.